Hello. Thank you for stopping by and coming to receive a little bit of Reiki. This is part of the self-love sequence. That when I'm beating myself up and saying that I don't belong somewhere or that I don't fit in or any of these really negative thoughts that tend to get in the way, this is one very easy sequence that we can begin to regain our composure, regain our self-confidence. Okay. So one hand to the abdomen, one hand to the head or to the heart. You can choose where you want to begin. But we're really beginning at the solar plexus, the upper abdomen. And I'm going to choose to begin at the heart center here. And this is where we set our intention to turn the Reiki on. Go, Reiki, go. Take a big breath in. And if you're not Reiki certified or you haven't received an attunement, just remember that you can hop on over to one of my Reiki attunement videos. There are several. And you can turn on the circuit breakers of your house so that when you want this Reiki electricity, you can turn on the lamps and the faucets and flush the toilets as you go. Right? This is your house. Your body is your house. Take a big breath in. But here we just, together, we just activate our Reiki with flow, Reiki flow, or go, Reiki go. And I'm just feeling that gentle encouragement to close my eyes. So if you are feeling that way, feel free. If you want to keep them open, feel free. And whenever it's time for me to move on, my guides show me an image of where to go next. So I'm seeing to go to work on my ears. So I'm kind of right here, sort of the thumb is behind the ear. So I'm kind of supporting this whole jaw as well as the ears here. And it's your body, so you can touch your own body where you like. And right away I'm like, oh, I feel that this is going to be a little workout for my triceps here. Right? Sometimes holding our hands or arms in a certain position is not sustainable. And sometimes it is. So you do you here. You do what feels comfortable for you. So I'm just going to move my hands a little bit further behind. So it's kind of almost where the back of the head. There you go. Take a big breath in. And this position might be more comfortable if you're laying down, right? But I'm really feeling this Reiki kind of spread across my skull. Kind of feeling it enter the organ of the brain. It just feels like it's kind of getting a little soak or a little Reiki soaking in the back of the brain. And, I actually still feel this in my jaw too, even though my hands are a little further away. And truly here, my shoulders are getting a little tired. So I'm going to go ahead and work on my shoulders so you can kind of hook the fingers and allow your hands to rest down, or you can cross at where the neck meets the shoulder and do opposite. And we're just moving right along. I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands to the back of the neck, to the top of the shoulders. A little more to the neck than to the shoulders, but kind of where the shoulders and the neck connect. And then the opposite hand is going to go down to the belly, to the abdomen. Just covering the belly button, but maybe a little above. But to the upper part of the abdomen, middle to upper part of the abdomen. Beautiful. And you don't need to keep repeating, go Reiki go, but you can if you want to. Really, I just set the intention in the beginning. That's my practice. That's my on switch. Go Reiki go. And then the opposite hand is going to come down just underneath to the lower part of the abdomen, underneath the belly button, a little closer to the pubic bone. And just remember, we are all different shapes and sizes. We are all beautiful in our own ways. So if you have a big belly, when I'm encouraging you to be below the belly button but closer to the pubic bone, what I mean here is to be a little bit towards the bottom of the abdomen. And as I'm sitting here in my own body, I'm kind of feeling that tight area in the back of my hip starting to soften. And I'm feeling that shoulder soften. And a nice exhale. That whole area just started to release. It's funny, for female-bodied people, right? It's interesting how much tension we hold in our womb. If you have a yoga practice of any kind, there's often an acknowledgement of how much we store in the hips, but how much we actually store in the uterus and the ovaries often gets overlooked. Right? And sometimes this is observed when somebody has an orgasm and their uterus contracts and they start to cry. Right? It's a release. It's an opening. Take a big breath in. I'm going to come back up to my shoulders here. So I'm sort of moving my hands a little bit up this time. Before, my hands and my elbows and my sort of upper body was hanging a little bit. A little bit of the weight of the arm was resting. But this time I'm just going to keep my shoulders up like wings in flight. That just feels right for me. I'm not doing a big stretch here. I'm not really folding my shoulder blades in, but I'm just kind of allowing my arms to be up. Yeah, I kind of just want to be working all those muscles underneath the shoulder blades. And I'm actually feeling some of that Reiki flow down to the middle of my back, to some of the muscles of the middle of the back, right, where the diaphragm wraps around. And those sighs just escape on their own sometimes. I'm actually feeling my whole abdomen relax from this hand position. And from here, I'm going to be bringing my hands down to my knees or to your shins. So wherever feels comfortable for you. You might not be able to reach your shins. You might not be able to reach your knees, right? There's a million reasons why we might have limitations even for doing something easy. So adjust. The simple truth is that you just adjust. You can always do a technique where you beam, right? So imagine that your arm is in a sling, or maybe you don't have to imagine that. Maybe that is what you're experiencing right now. And your arm has to be in a certain place, right? The technique of beaming, if you have even the ability, could be just turning the wrist down. That might not even be available for you either, right? But it's the hand position when we're touching the body would go direct, right? But if we're beaming, there's some space between, some geographical distance between where your hand and between where the Reiki is flowing. But that might not be possible for you either, right? So do what you want. You might be doing your own, I'm here, right, with my hands at my knees, but you might be doing your own totally different sequence. Even when I'm in class with people and we're going through our self-treatment practice together in group, sometimes I open an eye and I see that people are doing different things. I'm not here to tell them what they need. My job as a Reiki instructor is to help you continually connect to yourself. And if that means that you're doing it different than how I'm describing it, I love that. I love that. You can't do this work wrong, and you can't mess it up. So much love to you. I hope that you continue your self-practice either after this video or right along with me. Namaste.